Okay.
Coach, just I know you spoke at length about Kel'el before behind the scenes, but when you're looking at the other bigs in the locker room, like a Bam, like Kevin Love, I know you want Kel'el to be his own person, but is there any traits from those two that you want Kel'el to instill himself?
Yeah, I haven't really looked at it from that standpoint, but certainly the professionalism, of each of them, the work ethic, I can take some of the rebounding, traits from K-Love, some of the, defensive versatility, from Bam. But he's different. He brings something different. That's what we like about him. And he had some really good minutes the other night.
Erik, obviously things change without Jimmy. When you did your lineup on Saturday, you said because of Jimmy, you moved things around. I know this sounds almost elementary, but how much of your game plan do you have to change because of how much Jimmy does when you go into a game like this or even a game in Orlando?
Yeah, it was. I don't know if I said it that way. It was that was part of it, but the other part of it is Orlando has a really unique front line. And they played two centers, and really De Silva was a 4. So it was big, and without Jimmy, I just wanted to, match up a little bit differently. If we have the versatility, what's the point of it if you're not going to take advantage of it? And that's really all it was. And, that group, other than the very beginning of the game, the first quarter and third quarter were really good, throughout the rotation.
Spo, what's the key mentality you want your guys to have tonight moving forward? Off of what happened.
Yeah, we had to address it first. I mean, if you just brush it under the rug, it was, a tough, like I said, tough-ass loss. Those are the ones that, hit you in the gut hard. There's lessons to be learned, in that. And, you have a rough fourth quarter. So, we watched it several times and found different lessons each time, but ultimately, there are 4 main scorers out. We just simply cannot give up 37 points. It might have been ugly, going down the stretch. We had some decent looks that we missed, 3 threes, a couple layups, 3 layups actually. And then, there were a couple turnovers that made it feel a little bit more disjointed offensively. But, they just got on a roll, and there wasn't a collective resolve to be able to, finish that game off with stops, and hold them to a 25-point quarter, and you walk out of there with a win. I mean, there was some crazy things that happened. I mean, even, the emotions when the momentum turns, and sometimes it feels like the officiating, turns. There were some calls that if those go our way, then that looks different. But those are the things that you have to cover that you can't control those. We definitely could have controlled having a better, toughness defensively, to stop that run and find a different way to get out of there with a win.
While the Skyforce weren't able to push all the way back and get the victory in the finals of the showcase, how good overall is that experience, particularly for your two-way guys that are leading that effort and pushing, as you say all the time, to more winning?
Really important, to understand how much we value, going for it, and having those experiences of mini playoffs. That the cup, all those games, feel a little bit differently. The scouting is different, and those guys were going, through all the prep that is really important to us. And then finding different ways to win. It was unfortunate that game, but that team is really good and a veteran team, which you saw, every time we made a run, coming back, they knew how to settle it down and win that game. But anytime you have those kind of experiences, for a win or a loss, that you feel it, I think is good for a young player.
Spo, following up on that, I know it's important for the players, but how was it for the coach, and what lessons did you, or kind of things did Dan take from that yesterday?
I haven't talked to him about that, but I know how Dan's wired. I mean, the guy's a psycho. So, I was begging him to come to our game. He's like, no, I gotta prep, and I trust him in his process more than I almost trust myself. Like he is detailed. He'll go through his checklist and all that, and he'll, damn for sure that they're going to be better, from this competition and all those experiences because of his leadership.